Hey y'all, it's Day. So, I'm going to be doing a reading for us today. Very excited for this reading. I have good vibes already. This is another one where I'm not sure if this is a for me reading or is this a for us reading. But you'll know if the video is up. I'm going to start with the Illuminated Earth Oracle. And I want to remind you guys that if you haven't already, if you're interested in learning more about my readings, you can visit my website, which will be in the comment section below. Also, if you'd like to contribute to my readings, you can do so by visiting my Amazon store, or you can send cash via Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and all of that's going to be in the comment section as well. And I appreciate all the support and engagement. If you receive this message, like the message so I know that the message was received. Aside from that, I do want to thank my angels, guides, ancestors, God source, and benevolent energies that stand in truth and love. Please continue to guide us. Please continue to protect us and encourage us on our path. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. So I feel like gratitude is more important now than maybe people have cared to realize or exercise or practice at this time or in this age. And for me, gratitude has always been a very weird concept for me, in regards to its level of importance and practicality or its effects. But I don't know, gratitude is coming up here. So on the top left of the spread, we have dreams. And right beside it, we have accomplishment in reverse. So this together, dreams and accomplishment in reverse, and the way that this one's full of color and this one is grayed out, it's just kind of this energy of dying inside. And I'm hearing the word spirit, like your people's spirit feels heavier, feels denser, more dense. In the last couple readings, I mentioned a reading in a reading, a message came up of the air getting thicker, like everybody received the call and they know what direction they're supposed to be going towards. And for the people that are choosing not to answer the call, the air just got thicker for them. Like it's harder to exercise tolerance in karmic situations. It's harder to ignore the truth. It's harder to the tools that you usually use, that you've been using this far to kind of get you from point A to point B. Something about that method or those tools or the environment that you're in, it doesn't work anymore. It's almost like it doesn't even matter that this used to be the hottest spot in town. Like nobody is keeping the lights on there anymore. So it's almost like it never really happened. So it's giving this energy of like self-doubt. It's kind of weighing fear against that death that you can experience in your life if you are just constantly not living for yourself over time. That type of weight. Interesting. So on the right of the spread, we have retreat in reverse. Dude, retreat in reverse. In the last reading, spiritual team was like, don't not answer the call. Don't not pick up. Don't not move your feet. Don't not um, be scared, or don't let it stop you. So retreat. Um, Everybody's going through some type of transitional period that's going to be like, it seems like it will come a little bit sooner than some people are expecting, or it's going to come together in a very surprising way. There is this energy of it being last minute, impromptu. It's going to be very spontaneous as well. And I'm hearing call to action. So it's kind of like everybody's waiting for their call, but you can literally be in the middle of anything. So it definitely does have this element of like when you get the call, you get the call. It doesn't matter if you're making breakfast. It doesn't matter if you are going to the grocery store. It doesn't matter if you're at a meeting. It doesn't matter if you are, it doesn't matter what you got going on really. Of course, I'm not talking about anything that's going to put yourself in physical danger or harm. I'm not saying like if you, it's not the energy of like you have to physically remove yourself from something. It's just in relation to whatever your immediate plans are. You're trying to do something. When you get that call, it's just like you have to get into character very fast. And when I use the word character, I mean this positive self-image that you've been developing over the last 2 years, maybe even longer, 4 years. Whatever character developments that you've been creating, habits, practices for yourself, so that you feel stronger in your identity, who you are, the direction that you're wanting to go in life. All those aspects will be very beneficial. Okay, so we have retreat in reverse, and next to that we have support. So your spiritual team is saying like, don't back down, don't not answer the call, don't shy away from the mission, the calling, but like believe in yourself. There's this energy of what if I fall on my face, or what if I embarrass myself? And there's this energy of just like blacking out. And it feels like blacking out of embarrassment, blacking out of like not being able to like look at yourself the same, or withstand being seen trying to achieve something and then failing at it. It's that type of energy. So it's giving very cringe, but spiritual team is saying like, what are they saying? What is the overall message that they want us to know to help us armor up in regards to our ability to weather our relationship with the fear? Retreat support. We have the moon card on the right of the spread, the far right of the spread. We have water. We have productivity in reverse. So with productivity in reverse, another aspect of the previous reading to this video was that our spiritual team says that this transit indeed does require a lot of action, but it's not going to be so much physical. So if you're someone that's like getting groceries for someone and then dropping them off and then getting groceries for someone, like that, this transit's not the best type of energy for physical labor, and more specifically the back and forth. If it's one long consistent paced uh, practice, then that's okay, one or two of them. So it's like making sure that you're meditating every day, or committing to, I don't know what else would be equivalent. It's just like you're definitely pick continuing practices that help you fortify your mind and your temperament, that will benefit your ability to maintain or exercise discernment. But it's going to be like something more slower paced, like practicing a speech or reading out loud, or committing to reading, committing to getting the right amount of sleep, committing to eating healthy. It's something like on a slower pace where you're able to kind of hold your body's hand as you're walking through this practice. Anyways, definitely getting like more grounding. So it could be like cooking something specifically for yourself. I'm thinking of not necessarily comfort foods, but it could include comfort foods, but like really healthful comfort foods. Like I made cabbage for Thanksgiving. It's like something alive and warm, like something like a homemade soup. That type of energy is going to be beneficial for everybody to help them ground. So make sure that you are not just eating only fried foods, not just eating only burgers, like trying to find something wholesome to eat. I just started making salads again, and then I'll get some fried chicken and I'll cut it up and I'll put it in there. Or I'll do bacon, and I know that those are not the most healthy of meats, but if you know what I've been eating, it's a step up from the way I've been eating. So yeah, trying to eat more live foods rather than just like frozen foods or foods, microwavable foods, is important right now for helping people to feel more rooted, more stable in their body. Okay. So water was coming up, and the water was coming up very spiritually, like um definitely an element of this that our spiritual team wants us to remember and to keep in mind is that we are and we will continue to be provided for, which is a very beautiful message. And sometimes it can be really hard to kind of really believe that or always remember that. But I like that that is coming through here. It's almost like you just do your part and don't worry about the gaps in between. Because it's like giving me this energy of somebody wanting to move, and they have it like there's a certain career that they want to pursue, like the typical Hollywood dream, that type of energy. And someone is thinking like, I feel so much passion and I believe in myself so much that I feel like I can just make this move, and I'm just going to propel myself forward and make all these drastic changes. But I believe that, you know, my desire is going to lead me somewhere. Um, it's that energy, as in to acknowledge that this really is a huge deal. It's a big decision. It is a pivotal time, it's a transitional period. But the water coming through is almost like your spiritual team has their hands in it as well. And there are a lot of other different elements and factors that if you hold space or leave space for God, your spiritual team, the universe, that you will be provided for. And I've been thinking about that. If I could put that type of relationship into an image, it would be the little dropper that you see, or dropping action that you see in IV bags, where it's just like one little drop of water dropping one at a time. Something about that energy is like sometimes you don't get the help that you need until you actually intentionally create space for God, the universe, your spiritual team. Like we feel like we have to have every step figured out, or we worry too much about the wrong things. And it's really giving me like with the support card, it's like these arms are like it feels like this girl is a singer and she's signed to a label, and the label has their hands on her shoulder like, don't worry about it, we got this, we'll take care of this. So there's this extra support of spiritual guides. I'm trying to figure out who these people are. Chop. I got spiritual guides and other. The fuck? Okay. Let me see. Okay, so I am getting some shady energy from the support card, and it's giving me this energy of not just positive, not just positive spirits or entities or energies want to interact with you. There are some other energies that don't have your best interest in mind, and it's very important to be mindful of that. And then I'm hearing the word discernment and understanding. Okay, so underneath the dreams card and the accomplishment in reverse, we have erosion in reverse. Yeah, so there's some of us that we know what it feels like to be on both sides. Some of us have already lived a life where we felt very drained, and we felt like we're not truly living. We feel oppressed in some way, shape, or form. We have dreams, but they're kind of just sitting on our shoulders. We're not really pursuing them, so that's where the density is coming in, the weight. Because you can't really stop thinking about it, and it's always there, but it's very elusive as well, whatever your dreams are. And that's why I was getting this energy of someone kind of like packing all their stuff and moving to California, or trying to move to Hollywood to pursue their dreams. That type of energy is coming from this accomplishment in reverse. So something needs to be played out that is not being played out or fulfilled, I'm hearing. And that causes erosion within somebody's spirit. All this creativity that they have within themselves that they want to let out, but they kind of second guess themselves. And their spiritual team is saying that they are being protected. They are being carried the rest of the way. And I'm hearing financing specifically. I feel like this retreat card in reverse is giving me this energy of going, like, some of us have practiced and exercised our faith in so many different ways or scenarios to the point where it's becoming to the point where we don't really get as afraid as we once did, because at one point we didn't really know what to expect. But now we know that, like, even if we fail, we never really failed, that we're constantly being rerouted if necessary, that life is not just happening to us, it's happening for us, that we're always being guided and protected, that there are watchful eyes over us, that growth is always available to us. That's what I'm getting from this retreat and the support card. And I wanted to say the spirit guide card. It's something about the journey that we've been on and that we've taken already. Is like we've already been in the dark so many times at this point. It's kind of like we do still be kind of scared a little bit. We be a little worried a little bit. But for the most part, we're getting to the point where, you know how we felt like when people started talking about mental health really in the last like 5 years, heavy. And now everybody has all these names and all these terms for what people have been feeling, not just in the 1990s, but like forever. And think about how many years that has been before we're just now getting to the point where people are acknowledging mental health. Like, this is how unprogressive we are as a species. Like, I don't know if unprogressive is not like we're regressives a lot of times, I feel like. But um we are supported, we are protected, and spiritual team is wanting you to acknowledge how your perception has changed as well. It's like now you go into a dark space, or you get thrown into solitude, or you have a dispute with someone, or people don't respond the way that you expected them to, or you get left out in the dark or isolated socially. It's just kind of like whatever your challenge is, you experience that, you don't let it consume you. You have programmed your mind to realize that there's always an opening, I'm hearing. Yeah, so directly underneath this retreat card, we have anguish. So this definitely represents what I've been talking about as far as this depiction of this person. It's kind of like they're transcending. I'm not sure if this person is just clear. Are they a soul? Like, is this a soul? Is this a physical body? What is this? Looks like a bird type of creature or something on his head. It's like in times where you could fall prey or fall victim, you decide not to because you are able to identify this phase of a bigger transition. So if something doesn't work out the way that you intended to or you envisioned, you're not allowing that to cause you to spiral into a defeatist attitude. Okay, so we have patience in reverse. So definitely going back to the Mars transit. Mars is... Dude, I had started recording and I didn't even have my headset on. Let's see. Okay, so we have patience in reverse. We have epiphany. And we have gifts at the bottom of the spread depicted as crystals. So this is just like learning more about yourself on a spiritual level. It's almost like you learned something about yourself, your possibilities, or something that feels very divine to you. It feels very significant to you. In some way, it reminds you that you do have purpose, or you are wanting to go somewhere, or you're meant for something, you're meant to experience something. It makes you feel alive again, I'm hearing. So we have Earth in reverse. We're still needing to prepare by being more grounded. I heard the next 2 days, the next 3 days for some other people, that closing up on grounding exercises is going to be very important for this transition. And then we have the word reflect on top of anguish. So, and I'm hearing the word deconstructing. And I'm hearing the word ample. We have eruption here. There are elements of us being mindful of our temperament, not being reactionary in the reading previous to this one. On top of erupt, we have meander. In reverse. And this definitely feels like is giving having reached the destination type of energy. So it does feel like whatever we have done leading up into this moment and will do in the following weeks is going to set the tone, is going to set the stage for a new life. So it's very important for us to be mindful of our decisions, our actions, what we choose. And the sun being directly in the middle of this path, this river that acknowledges the need for ebb and flow in life, the need to acknowledge nature and its flow and get into harmony with that rhythm. And with the sun being the center and the way that it's shining directly through the middle of it is definitely an indication of personal identity and a person's ability to shine a light on and pay attention to what of themselves does life want and what of life do they themselves want. So that fell out on top of eruption, I think. Then we have relationship falling out on top of that meander card. Relationship. feels very conflicting. It feels very face to face, confrontational, but it feels more so with yourself. This transitional period is really going to require everyone to really look themselves in the face. Like they're going to have a real conversation with themselves. It feels like everyone is going to have to choose. And it feels like, for example, choosing something you need to do versus something you want to do, or one uh, choosing one enabler over another when you really prefer to have both. Mm, It's choosing between right and wrong. There is an integral aspect to this decision making. So, whatever it is for anybody, something about it makes it, obviously, the decision is tough because there are pros and cons to both of these choices. And so, spiritual team is encouraging people to realize that they're going to have to make a decision. And I had a reading that was similar to this type of energy last year. And the scenario was someone, um, it was about a masculine male, and he he had been gay since, like, for a long time, like since high school, but he never looked quote unquote gay, and nobody really ever accused him of being gay because most people kind of associate gay males with a certain type of mannerism or like feminine gestures. For this particular gay male, he still appeared um, conventionally masculine. So, for whatever reason, nobody in high school or college or well into his adult life ever accused him of or assumed him of being gay. But he did find himself in a relationship, and I've heard of this scenario that has happened, or that happens a lot, specifically for people that are homosexual, which is like they'll meet someone that they want to be in a relationship with, in, and the other person hasn't really just like told their family that they're gay, or like they're not really just open about it. Like, yeah, they're gay, but they don't necessarily feel like they want to broadcast it to the world. Whereas the other person is just like, this is who I am. I'm who I am. Like, let's make out in front of the gas station. I don't care who's watching. So, like, both of them in their own right, like, how you can probably see how empowering either one of them could be. Um, for example, someone that doesn't necessarily want to share with everyone that they're homosexual, they may feel like, why do I need to explain it to someone that I just met, even when I'm not even interested in them? Why do I have to tell my business at all? And some other people are just like, this is a part of my identity. This is what I want. So in this particular reading, the gay male who wasn't really ready to share with the people in his network that, and he wasn't sure if that was necessary either. He doesn't want to, and he doesn't see like how is it important. So Kim and his partner was kind of like starting to get like experience more tension in the relationship, because the other person is just like, I share you with my family, I share you with everybody. You've met my this, you've met this person at the grocery store, I've introduced you to all my people, like what's up, like, because I don't really have time to be in a relationship where you don't want to be public with me. Like, if that's the case, let me know now. I have other things to do. That's how the other person in the relationship was like. And so, of course, it's definitely giving ultimatum energy, but for the other person, it was more about like, are you proud to be with me or not? So for them, it was more personal, even though for the other person, it was just like, I just don't want people in my business, that type of energy. But the person who didn't want to really tell other people about it, they eventually got to a space where they did realize that they really haven't shared it with anyone because he's not really proud of being gay. He is concerned about how that would change the relationships surrounding him. He does wonder how, like, if he will lose connections. There was this energy of like, he knew that he could survive at work, but there was something about he felt like his parents wouldn't support him anymore or fund him, or that he would kind of be on his own. Like, a lot of times when we are about to transition or cross another threshold, we can have this feeling of fear of being crucified, fear of being demeaned, I'm hearing, fear of being canceled, I'm hearing, fear of being embarrassed, fear of being seen to try to do something, and other people like, I don't know why you thought that. I don't know why you thought that you were, oh honey, like, babe, you need to be a little bit more realistic, like that type of energy. So there was this tension, but not just between him and his partner, but between him and himself. So that's why the relationship card is coming out here on top of gifts. And this energy is very important because a lot of times when I be inquiring on the energy, spiritual team will be like, they will acknowledge our fears. They will acknowledge our worries and our concerns. And they always have like this, I don't know how to describe the perspective yet. It's not just positive, but they always like think of things like, oh yeah, honey, like, no, this is a big deal. We are fighting for our life right now. And they'll acknowledge our fears like, yeah, I know that you're worried about like getting canceled. And I'm not gonna say that that won't happen, but I will say that like, you'll be okay. And you're just like, what do you mean I'll be okay? What's gonna change? And I'm getting that energy of like, you heard that video, he was like, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Like, before we take this leap of faith, like, let me tell you something, bro. I gotta say something. Like, wait. Like, so it's that type of energy. So we have fire. We have tempest in reverse, coming out underneath the support card. So our spiritual team is saying like, we don't have to worry so much about, it's kind of like whatever our fear is, we have a certain image in our head, and while we will still experience some type of emotion that will trigger within us to kind of step up, lead, be courageous, it's not necessarily what we think that it's going to be. It's going to be different. And hopefully an example will come through. Then we have the underworld. You're doing work that most people don't do, won't do, wouldn't do. That's also coming out underneath the support card. So our spiritual team is helping us as we navigate our personal paths. And remember these cards are coming out on the left of Epiphany and Patience in reverse. And on top of those two cards we have Blocked. So with this Blocked card, I'm like, what is this energy? It's giving me this energy of like when you get into a fender bender in the car and the airbags just like come up, and it's kind of like, dang, game over from that point, because we have to tend to this now. We gotta make sure, we gotta talk to these other people, we gotta figure out what we're gonna do. We're kind of shaking up type of energy. So spiritual team is like, don't panic. Don't panic. That's the worst thing that you could do, or the most unhelpful thing that you can do. So it's reminding me of, what was that thing called? Mrs. Puff on SpongeBob. When they would go test driving and she would like blow up and stuff. So yeah. Don't allow yourself to be reactionary or to get so shooken up by negative thoughts that it keeps you from seeing that you are being guided. So it's giving this energy of following someone in a car, like trailing someone in a car. It's giving this energy of chasing something, and sometimes like it fades out, but then you get on a hill, so then you see it again. It's like you're trying to keep up, you're trying to maintain the vision. Is there anything else that we need to know regarding this message? Is there anything else that we need to know? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, my music went off. Hold on. Oh, it's still connected. I'm like, why did my music go off? I don't think it's been on this whole time. Okay, so we got some new cards came out here. Towards the bottom of the spread, we have connection. And it definitely feels like this connection to this greater wave or this greater current, that we're not so wrapped up in the busy world and work and context and other people's opinions, but we're more focused on our relationship with life, like how we're navigating life, why we're navigating life, doing more things or participating in more activities that speak to our soul, that makes us feel more alive, putting ourselves first, considering ourselves first in regards to our decisions, and definitely taking steps towards our dreams, so that we're not allowing our soul to die inside of us, like what, while we're still alive. So we have connection. That's connection to ourselves, to our bodies, to our spiritual team, to nature and the universe. And we have multiverse. So yeah, timeline energy, earlier in this reading, I think we were saying something about the ability to change your scenario, your lifestyle. There's an opportunity for our lifestyles to change, the way we do life, but it's coming in a very fast and unexpected and unconventional manner. And it's also going to be very interrupting. Like I said, a lot of people are going to experience getting a call at the most random of times, and it's completely going to throw them off, and it looks like everything is spinning. So in the reading previous to this one, an example that was coming through is like someone projected to move to another area. It's like a big move for them, and they were projecting to move there by March of 2025. And then something happens within the next few weeks where someone random or a family member or something, someone's like, hey, I'm going to so and so this place. Didn't you say that you wanted to go there? I'm going to be driving through there. If you want to go, you can come with me. It's next Tuesday, I'm leaving. Or for some people, it's like, I'm leaving tomorrow by 6 p.m. It's like that type of energy where it's like, wait, what? Like, right now? Like this? I was like, I haven't even done this. I haven't even done that. And there's this energy of like, could it work? Oh my God. Like that type of energy. So, obviously, in order for this to happen, because I heard the word with this retreat card, like a door opening. So people are going through a transitional period and they get plummeted or started making a motion towards the next part of their phase, and the next phase looks like this. And spiritual team is saying like, we've been through this before, that we have the ability to like not be afraid or not panic, because this is not something new to us. We've been in dark spaces before, but we have our toolkit. We have our spiritual toolkit, and we have exercises that we do, and we have ways of being, and we have an understanding of our values, what we value, and who we are, and all that together, so that all of that helps us navigate this transitional period. But spiritual team is saying like, it's not all just like negative and darkness, it's also a representation of potentiality. So you could go into this with a negative mindset or, panic, but it's not just about panicking. It's about space. It's about creating space, having the ability to create space. And in that, I'm hearing vortex. There is an acknowledgement of possibilities, potentiality. Darkness, there's so much potential in the darkness. There's so much potential in the abyss. There's so much potential in blackness, that you could go in it with a mind frame of, I can pull out something negative, or you can think up a brainstorm of all the positive as well, all the positive possibilities. And I'm hearing the word influence. So we do have influence. We can move with our mind, with our imagination. We take steps towards the next stage. And with the multiverse coming out, it's definitely speaking to that greater plan, that bigger wave, this understanding the bigger picture type of energy that is bigger than you, it's bigger than me. And underneath this retreat card in reverse, towards the bottom of the spread, we have vulnerability. And I'm hearing to be seen, to be doing something. So it's kind of like it doesn't matter. Um, if you're going for your dreams, if you're being authentic, um, your energy, that energy has a certain quality to it that, and I'm hearing the word transcends. It transcends your whole situation. And I didn't notice these other cards until now. So underneath vulnerability, that is coming through in the form of authenticity. And you can kind of see this image is kind of, well, it's kind of artsy, it's kind of abstract. So this is reiterating this idea that it's what you see, it's what you choose to see. What do you see? And how powerful our perspective is, and how that shapes our reality. Underneath that, structure. And it's very interesting because in the spiritual world, it's like everything is very elusive sometimes, or intangible, or it's not concrete, not considered concrete, not considered like truth. Sometimes that could be in question because of lack of terminology or ability to explain certain things. But apparently, we have been building something on the other side of our intuition, I'm hearing. We have been building something on the other side of our imagination, our will to follow our dreams, our goals, and desires. Then we have reincarnation coming out here, and it's really giving me this energy of like, it's about experiences. Focus on the experience. Focus on your experience. It also looks like a placenta, so your lifeline is showing through your vitality, your creativity, your ability to make individual choices or choices that are in your best interest. That's your life source. And it's very important for you to get clear on your identity, who you are, your values, what's important to you, what you're willing to risk what for, and what you're not, boundaries, because your supply depends on it. Then spiritual team said balance is important. So if you receive this message, like the video so I know that the message is received. Again, if you would like to contribute to my readings, you can do so by visiting my website, which will be in the comment section below. And I accept contributions through Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, whichever one is most convenient for you. And you can also contribute by visiting my Amazon wish list as well. You might find something for yourself. Aside from that, I do want to thank my angels, guides, ancestors, God, God's source, and benevolent energies that stand in truth and love. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the protection. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.